Lost the 2v2. Alright. Moving into game number 2. As the light blue Zerg, we have Jim of Eastern Europe. And that is at 12 o'clock. And in the bottom position as the yellow Zerg, we have Julia. Julia of Poland. And that is 6. And primary, use, unuse, reset score. There we go. Another ZVZ, this time on destination. Jim versus Julia. Shoutouts to using people names as your names. I really want to call him Jimmy. Jim E. And I made that joke last time I casted Jim, but like, Jimmy's so much more fun to say. Jimmy. I'll try. I'll try to refrain from it, but if I get too excited later on, because intense stuff's happening, this is my proactive apology. So, Julia. Ooh. Julia goes for a really late spawning pool. Julia's an old player, and you saw it. You don't do extractor tricks unless you're going 9 hatch. You just don't do them anymore. But Julia, an old school player, it used to be the convention used to be that might be effective in some situations other than 9 pool. Later discovered it wasn't. I think that's a little bit of a relic of a bygone age right there, with the older extractor trick. Anyway, Jim has his links coming out, so he will send them across. But Julia, even with the late spawning pool, shouldn't have a problem holding these off. Ooh, hold up. Hold up. Shoutouts to 100 APM, but hold up, we're hiding. Alright, so Lings are sneaking out. Lings are sneaking out. They managed to dodge one Overlord, which, well, some of them did. 2 of them went the wrong way. And they will dodge the second Overlord. Some of them dodging purposefully, some of them are just running. I think they dodged it. Either way, Julia should know. When you see just 2 Lings immediately sprinting out of the base with this Overlord, it's like, you know you missed some. And now Jim's going for an attack. It's a good start to it. Good start to the fight. Julia shouldn't have a problem dealing with this. It's just a matter of knowing how many Lings he should make. And Jim did manage to trick Julia a little bit by hiding the Lings. Julia wanted to get a little bit greedy, assuming that Jim didn't really know what Jim was going, because he didn't see the expansion, which there should have been one at that point if Jim had done 12 pool or 12 hatch, and yet didn't see he didn't see Lings. So it was kind of looking like an in-base hatch. So Julia didn't want to fall behind economically, just wanted to have a nice solid economic lead. Unfortunately, paying for it a little bit here by getting greedy, and man, we are siphoning in more Lings. More and more and more Lings. Speed is done. Spire's on the way. And this hatcher's taking a lot of damage. Already about a third of health. Julia's just getting the lair up now. Julia's lair is going to be so late. It's not going to be... excuse me, the Spire's going to be so late. There's no way Julia can hold off the Mutalisks. Absolutely needs to build the spore colony. I guess we can see some remnants of what we saw in the last series. Did I? I did. We can see some remnants of what we saw in the last series of just attacking with Lings to defend against the Mutalisks if Julia is really, really gutsy. But Julia should just build some spore colonies. That's what Julia should do. Layer is down. And evolution chamber. Okay, we're gonna get spore colonies. That's good. So, luckily for Jim, as he did go for the 9 pull he was expecting, Ling attack, so he has the Sunken Colony already done, and in a very nice position. The Spire kind of defending the Sunken Colony a little bit, the Sunken Colony obviously defending the Spire, and some nice, good drill opportunities. Yeah, that's a nice drilling. This is beautiful, beautiful building position from Jim. Nope. Not quite done yet. The Mutalisk coming back. The Mutalisk obviously going to be able to hold that off. Only getting 1 drone kill, but now, did Jim have enough confidence in his own drone micro and his own multitasking skills to continue to have the Mutalisk attack? Because there are some opportunities here. That Spore Colony does not cover this entire base. That hatchery is very weak. Could just be sniperable to begin with. Oh, come on. Attack the Overlord. No, not gonna do it. Alright. Looks like he didn't want to come back to deal with the Lings, and it cost him 1 more drone. He is now down to just 7. That's 7 drones. That's 5 on minerals, 2 on gas. But he does have Mutalisks, where Julia did that. It's going to be the Spire, I assume. But Julia hasn't started the Spire, is the point I'm trying to make. Getting supply blocked. Ooh, getting quite badly supply blocked. Only 1 Overlord alive right now. This guy right here. And Julia's going to attack with more Lings. Alright. Julia's attacking with more Lings. Yeah, Jim can't afford to trade 4 Lings for 1 of his drones anymore. He couldn't before, to be perfectly honest, but he certainly can't now. So he's got to be more careful about getting the Mutalisks into position to defend. And I guess it is kind of hard to find a target here. He could take out the Evolution Chamber. I mean, that's 125 minerals. 125 minerals gone. And it's not as if he doesn't need to do any micro. The Scourge / Mutalisks are not coming out for quite a while, so he can just find the quote-unquote correct spot hold position. Here we come. 4 Lings once again. Julia, with the constant backstabs, pulling it off to perfection at this point. Jim might have enough Mutalisks. You know what, Jim? Okay, here's what I like. Here's the idea I like from Jim right now. Not this. This is a terrible idea. You need to just make some Lings of your own to deal with this. Either that or use the Mutalisks that are spawning to pick them off. What I liked when Jim had a Mutalisk here, eat a lot of Spore shots and kill off the hatchery. It's only 550 health. It's only 550 health, and you had a bunch, like 5? I think he had 5 at the time. Alright. So, another drone going down. Looks like Jim had wanted to expand. Another drone. Man, that one got 2 drones. Trading 4 Lings for 1 drone is nice, but trading 4 Lings for 2 drones is absolutely amazing for Julia. Really giving Julia an upper hand. Even though he still doesn't have any Mutalisks out. Jim was transferring that drone out to build the hatchery, now only slightly delayed. And Julia has yet to take that gas. Interesting. That's actually a really high drone count on minerals. That's, what, 511 on minerals and only 3 on gas? Yeah, he definitely wants it. Definitely wants that extractor up. Alright, that was kind of weird. It hit the further away Scourge and bounced it back to the closer one, but no damage taken. Julia really didn't get a scout off either. Rather nice. And we have armor upgrade. Armor upgrade for Julia. Can definitely afford it right now. Where Jim... The hatchery just finishing. He needs to get that gas going immediately. He has been droning quite hard. he does have a lot of drones, considering that he went for 9 pool and considering how many he's lost. He's been very good about replacing them. Which, at this stage in the game, it's the money to remix the drones is an expense. But right now, when you can be producing pure Mutalisk, and the only thing limiting that is larva, to sacrifice some larva to build drones can be quite costly. But Jim is going to Jim's going to pay that high cost to have his nice drone count, which can pay off for him in the late game. Ooh, a third hatchery. Interesting. That's gonna help stop run-bys a little bit, which is the reasoning for the positioning there. But really, the only thing that hatchery can do is make links. So Julia, obviously the run-bys have been working out for Julia. So he wants to do more run-bys, and he's going to just constantly have a ling stream. That hatchery may produce absolutely nothing this game but lings. Only to just attack in groups of 6, just to see if Jim's defending. If he is, then nothing happens, whatever. If he isn't, you can get a lot of stuff done. Geyser goes down, so Jim will be stunting Julia's Mutalisk count for a little while here, but Julia's going for the counterattack. All the drones are transferring away, now transferring back. 2, 3, 4, already down. Before the Mutalisks come, now can Julia get away? Julia needs to split. He's splitting his Mutalisks out rather well. Ooh. That was 6? I guess, okay, it was 5, and then the Zergling got 1, which made for a total of 6. Alright. Alright. And Julia's getting the Queen's Nest. So, despite the fact that we had a 30-minute ZVZ last game with no Hive, does not mean that we will be without Hive ZVZ. Ooh, man, that drone. Oh, it's not. I thought it was going to barely save its life by jumping into the geyser, but it could have taken one more hit. Anyway, despite not having one in the 30-minute ZVZ last series, we are going to have one now. At least from Julia here. And, of course, immediately for Hive. It's been... You know, the Koreans did it before they realized that Hive was a thing. You would occasionally see the Koreans go for Queens and not Hive. Very rarely. Only a couple instances of it, but I don't think I've ever seen a foreigner do that. I don't think I've ever seen a foreigner build the Queen's Nest and then not immediately be seduced by the Hive. Well, right now Julia's in a great position. Better economy, he's taking less harass, has the tech advantage, has the spore colony advantage. I think he might even have the Mutalisk advantage at this point. He does not have the upgrade advantage, though. Jim going for an early +1 attack. So now that the +1 armor finishes and Julia's not splitting. Ugh. Could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse. And it looks like accidentally sacrificing one of the Mutalisks there. But paying attention to these lings. The lings take out the hatchery once again. And now these backstabs from Julia are just too fearsome. Too fearsome. They cost nothing. Actually, now they costed larva before, but now that there's a third hatchery, they cost absolutely nothing. And they're just doing so much damage to Jim. He can't figure out how to stop that from happening. And it can be quite hard. I'm surprised Julia's throwing down 4 more sunken colony? No, that was the third one. Okay, this one was up for a while. I'm surprised he's getting 4 spores at each base. It's a little bit excessive. He'd be fine with just the 2, because he has so many more Mutalisks. He actually doesn't need spores anymore. And it looks like we'll be going for Greater Spire. There is, of course, 2 fields of thought for what you want to do with Hive. Option 1 is the Greater Spire. You get Devours. Devours absolutely wreck stuff. And then attack with Devours and Mutalisks. Option 2 is to completely abandon your Mutalisks and go for a ground army consisting of Defilers and Hydralisks. Alright, 3 more Lings running in. They have taken some shots, so the the Sunken Colony should be able to pick them off. But not before one more drone goes down. Every time. Julia has not had an unsuccessful run by, it seems like. It seems like every time at least one drone dies. And it's worth it every time. Alright. So, has a lot of Mutalisks. The Greater Spire is almost done. You pretty much never want more than 5 Guardians. Sometimes, Devourers, excuse me. Sometimes you want less, just because you don't have that many Mutalisks. But he has enough Mutalisks that I think he's going to want to hit his magic number of 5 immediately. He doesn't have the money for it. The Guardians cost more gas than minerals, but the Devourers cost more minerals. So, saving up a little bit more. Now, Devourers, here we go, have 25 attack, but have such a low rate of fire, the 25 attack hardly matters. They really do not do much damage. The Mutalisks themselves do about the same. Right around the same. The Devourers do 2 things. The less important thing they do is they are tankier. Extra native armor. 2 extra native armor is nice. Having more than double the amount of health is nice. So they act as tanks, and the effects from the acid. The effects from the acid will add, debuffs, pretty much. Will add debuffs to Jim's units, and they lose armor per stack. So he can be at -8 armor, because he has 1 now. So 9 stacks, 1 minus 9 is 8. And here we go, Julia moving in. No, I didn't get to see any hit. Alright, and the other thing that it does is it slows down the rate of fire. So, it makes it so that the Mutalisks fire very, very significantly more slowly. And you'll start to notice that after a few stacks have landed. Gotta attack the bigger stacks like this, and boom, instantly up to 6. And it's exactly what he wants. This is what Julia wants. All the Mutalisks are focusing on the Devourers. The Devourers are eating up the shots, and the Mutalisks just get completely wiped out. Quintessential Hive versus non-Hive engagement. That's the theory crafting ideal right there. Julia takes game 1. A very quick lead for Poland. And Poland is dominating right now, winning the first 3 games. Whoa, what? Is Python in the map pool? Map pool. No, it's not. All right. Hold up. Gotta ask game what's going on. Alright. Game's here. He is responding to me. And no, it's not an anti-spoiler. Jim. Alright. That's... Hold up. Just gotta check one more thing. That's... We're gonna cast this. It's gonna get casted, but I gotta figure out what the after effects of this are. Okay. Alright. So, on the right side is Jim of Eastern Europe as the Orange Terrier. I should have done this one first. On the left side, as the Red Zerg, is Julia. In the... That's like, what, 8 o'clock? That's like 8 o'clock. And Jim, 2:30 o'clock. I don't have a 2:30 o'clock option. So we're going to go with 3. Nah, we're going to go with 2. Keep it consistent. Alright, and use, and don't use, and boom. Alright. Nope, I messed up. There we go. We're good now. So, Python. Yeah, really close air distances make for weird ZVZs. They did spawn cross positions. So, there was a, what, 1 in 3 chance? 1 in 3 chance that they would spawn, next to each other like this. We won't see that kind of game. I did get confirmation, from game that this is in fact not an anti-spoiler replay. Obviously, as it's Julia versus Jim. So, the rules of Nation Wars, as we discovered week 1, is both players will be eliminated next week. Which, when I said, like, Asia Pacific needs an upset to make things interesting for next week, that helps. Oh, wait. No, they don't play both of them next week. They only play one of them. Eastern Europe hasn't... Eastern Europe hasn't played Asia Pacific, but Asia Pacific... Okay, Eastern Europe has to play 2 games next week. They have to play Russia and Asia Pacific. But Asia Pacific... The suspension for Jim won't happen versus Asia Pacific. So Eastern Europe has to play versus Russia, which, to be frank, doesn't matter. It might matter for... It really doesn't matter. Like, if Eastern Europe wins this game, they're already in. If they lose this one, they're already out. So, it really matters for Poland. Like, Poland versus Asia Pacific. I don't know. Is Julia not being there going to give Asia Pacific the opportunity they need? Julia's a good player. He's not the top tier of Poland's talent, but he's good. Poland doesn't exactly have a super deep roster, so walkovers might be a factor? Alright. So, we do have the lair from both players. Oh, no, excuse me. We don't have a lair from Julia yet. Should be having one right now, right? Right. Oh, wait. Whoops, we need a little bit more gas. Only 2 on gas, which is a little bit interesting. No, we didn't need more gas. It's only 100 gas. What was I thinking? I thought it was 150 for a second. No. Julia only having 2 on gas means that the layer's going to be late, especially considering that he got speed first. Speed first plus 2 on gas versus speed second, 3 on gas. Well, obviously that's an advantage for Jim, assuming that Julia can't do damage with his attack. Julia does have a little bit of an opportunity to try something. Jim can see the speed. And Jim's going to immediately block the ramp, allowing his drones to be hit a little bit, but there's not enough Zerglings to pick him off. Ugh. So, layer's almost done. We do have the Spire already on the way for Jim. Julia clearly did not do any damage with the speed, so that's going to just lead to an advantage for Jim. Now, does Jim get the Spire up quickly enough that Julia feels compelled to make spores? That's clearly not a spore colony. That's for Sunkens. There we go. Man, he's gonna do it. That's there. It's a little bit late once again. That can't be in time. That can't be in time. With Julia going for another run by. I mean, they worked very successfully last game, but last game Jim did not have anywhere this near this number of Zerglings, and his attention was diverted elsewhere. Run bys at this stage in the game are a lot less likely to work out. Man, is Jim making a lot of lings. Julia has a lot of lings too. Julia has one sunken, and that's the only static defense. So really, it's almost a pure ling versus ling fight no matter where they engage. Julia might be able to retreat back to the sunken colony, and that provides a little bit, but with ling numbers that big, not even that big of a difference. Not huge. Man, Jim wins the first battle. Wins the first battle for sure, as Julia going for another run by. This is a, if anything, a desperation run by. He needs to just hold Jim back. Not force Jim to commit lings into pursuit and not actually attack his base. Because, as I said, that one sunken colony isn't enough. It cannot overcome disadvantages that large. But, where's the Mutalisk? There's the Mutalisk. Wow. Why is Jim... I don't understand why Jim's not taking advantage of the fact that his opponent didn't have Spire. I guess he didn't know because he doesn't have an Overlord in position, but... It's a shame. He could have picked up some drone kills there. No reason not to. Alright, so... Julia is working with the worst economy, it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 and 3 for Julia compared to 7. Wow. 7, 10, 14 versus 7 drones. Just looking only at minerals, and then both have 3 on gas. Quite a huge advantage for Jim here. And then Jim just has the unit advantage as well. After that attack from Julia, Julia lost a lot of lings. And Jim's been able to... should have a little bit of a Mutalisk advantage right now. So this is looking rather well for Jimmy here. Oh, managing to get hits. All 3 of the first Scourge hit, although only one of those hits was on a Mutalisk, the rest was on... excuse me, the rest were on Scourge. But still successful. Successful first run, trading 4 Scourge for a Mutalisk and then critically injuring another one. It's nice. Jim's getting +1. Last game, I wasn't too questioning? I didn't think too much of it when he got +1 first, because his opponent had Spore Colonies up, and sure, +1's good against Spore Colonies, I guess. But in this situation, I don't know why he's getting +1 first. If we're talking just Mutalisk versus Mutalisks, the armor upgrade is always better. It's always better because the armor upgrade will take away 3 damage overall, while the attack upgrade only adds 1 damage. And it helps your Scourge out, where the attack upgrade does not, and it helps your Overlords out, but those are minor things. The only way that attack is better is if A, you're attacking a lot of stuff on the ground, or B, you just don't have the money for armor. Because attack is a little bit cheaper, but you so rarely see a situation where the player is going to invest 100 for that long, and they wouldn't be able to invest 150 for a much superior upgrade. It's an odd decision from Jim. Alright, so Jim moving in, it looks like, leading with a few lings here, and here comes, there the rest of the Mutalisks. I was wondering why there are only 2 Mutalisks, but no, most of the Mutalisks were down there, And now here comes the engagement. I think this is just simply going to be too much for Julia. +1's even done for Jim. So that's... I mean, an upgrade advantage is an upgrade advantage, even if it isn't as good. Julia has left the game. No GG as we move into game number 3. I wonder what the next map's gonna be. Fighting Spirit. Okay. So this one's on a normal map. Or at least, my normal map, I mean a map that's in the map pool. Alright, in the top right is Jim as the blue Zerg. X, Control V, 2 o'clock, Control V. And in the bottom right is Julia as the orange Zerg. There we go, there we go. Alright. Alright, so we've seen some different builds. It seems like both of these players do favor more economic play styles, and we only saw Jim go for an earlier pool on Destination because it was Destination. That's my prediction anyway. Oh, never mind. That's... Why is that scout so early? No. No. No way. No, he's not going to do it, right? Okay, you know what? No. Okay. I thought he was going to go for like some kind of crazy proxy hatch. No, he's not. It's not a crazy proxy hatch. He's scouting out his opponent. He's seeing that his opponent went 9 pool. Or not 9 pool, excuse me. 12 pool. He's seeing his opponent went 12 pool. So he knows... No, never mind. Okay. I thought he sent out the really early scout so that he could find his opponent and see if his opponent was going what his opponent was going. And if his opponent was going for an economic build, he could go 12 pool or 12 hatch. And if it was a 9 pool, he could go 12 pool. But he scouted out his opponent, saw it was a 12 pool, and then went 12 pool himself. So, yeah, really weird scout. Really weird scout. Oh, hello. Alright. Whatever. So... I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was a 12 pool. That was a 12 pool, but Jim's not playing it like a 12 pool. He's getting a fast lair off of the 12 pool and making lanes without expanding. Interesting. Julia should have been behind. Julia absolutely should have been behind. Because of, just because of the fact that the drone scout. They did mirror builds, but Julia had an early drone scout. I think Jim is scared. I think Jim saw the fast drone scout and assumed that Julia was going to be aggressive. So then he decided to get a fast lair and a fast spire and make more links. But in fact, Julia was not aggressive, and Jim now knows Julia's not being aggressive. Julia's playing really passively. Well, I don't think Jim's going to be able to punish. Yeah, here we go. Some Zerg from Eastern Europe had to go 12 hatch. Might as well be Jim. Or, excuse me, not 12 hatch, but in base hatch is what I meant. Interesting. Evolution Chamber's on the way. Julia obviously not going to have the Spire anywhere close to in time. In fact, it's actually going to be pretty close to whether he has 4 colonies in time. Because he hasn't started any of the creep colonies yet. We'll see. Julia has some nice lane production now, and he does outnumber Jim. Excuse me. So, Ling's poking up, and alright. Alright, so the Lings do manage to break up the ramp. They are going to get at least 1 drone kill. At least 1 drone kill, right? Was there really not a single drone kill in there? I don't see any drone kill blood. Wow. That's very unfortunate for Julia. He certainly had the Ling numbers to get one. At the very least, though, that does buy him time. Those Mutalisks could have been in the base already. If they didn't stop to take out the Lings and then take out the Overlord. So... Oh, there we go. Finally, we're getting something. Alright. In game... Ooh, alright. In game 1, excuse me. In game 1, the Ling attacks from Julia did damage every time. This time, though, they're not working out so well. At least in this game. That was a very heavy investment. A lot more than we had seen previously. And while it did kill off some Lings... 1 drone kill is not enough to comp the cost. Jim already knows his 4 colonies are out, and that's why he fanned out the Mutalisks, just looking for that other Overlord, which he found and was able to pick off. But Julia's not supply blocked, so it's fine. Or at least it's fine now. And now, if we're going with this strategy, Jim is going to be able to make Mutalisks on the same number of Julia. So Julia can't just throw away Lings. His Lings do need to be somewhat effective. Going in for snipes, getting 1. But other than that, Jim wants to come in with the Lings. He wants to take out the Spore colonies and then murder Julia with Mutalisks. Because Jim has a huge Mutalisk advantage right now. And he can get out an okay number of Lings. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to be doing here. And the Spire was built into natural. This is going to be very bad. Julia leaves the game. No GG twice. Julia, so bad manner. Now, I should put a 1 here for Eastern Europe, but I won't. And where is the rule? Rule number 12, the use of an incorrect map will result in a draw for the set. Both players will be banned in the next Nation War. So Eastern Europe should have tied it. In a great series for Jim, should have tied it, but instead, it's still 1-0 advantage for Poland. This means, assuming that there are no other shenanigans with walkovers, like a double walkover, and assuming... Whoa. Extract. Too many windows. Assuming that there's no shenanigans with the double walkover, and assuming that there's no more disqualifications like this. Oh, I closed my folder. That was a mistake. It means that there will be no ace match. It's going to end up 3-2 or 4-1 or 5-0 theoretically for Poland, but it's going to be an odd. It's an odd number. Only 5 sets. Alright, putting this in. All right. Cool. Go up. I want the other Poland versus Eastern Europe. Pike versus Infected. Dang. More high-level ZVZ. Alright. Alright. You're going to see the full gauntlet of what the ZVZ matchup has to offer. I expected a lot more ZVZs when they first met up, but there were only a few. Like 2, I think. I was surprised by that. But now we're getting the ZVZs. Now we are getting ZVZs.